Hello and welcome back to live coverage of the Apex Gaming $20,000 Modern Invitational, sponsored by TCGplayer.com. I'm Todd Tandy Anderson, joined by Ross Merriam. Say hi, Ross.
Hi, Ross.
We have 4 rounds down. We're entering into round 5. The winners of our feature matches this round very likely able to double draw into top 8. Ross, why don't you give us a rundown of the players we'll be watching first?
Yeah, so we got 4 players at 4-0. All of them are sitting in our feature match area. We're going to be starting with Amin Abadi, one of the more established players here on the Apex series, playing Mono White Hammer. Was actually able to take down Travis Brown in the Hammer Mirror last round, so showing some chops with the deck as well. He's going to be playing against Cody Hill, who we will.
Ross, stop. Hammer time.
Jesus. You scared me.
I got him.
I thought there was like a fire. We were going to have to evacuate. I don't know. But Amin's going to be playing against Cody Hill, who we saw last round on Mono Black Coffers. So Cody going to have to, win this match against a somewhat similar deck to Hardened Scales. Maybe a little bit less tricky, but another artifact-centric aggressive deck that has a lot of ways to grind through the removal.
Right.
Another Urza Saga deck. We got those Stoneforge Mystics. Got some protection spells. So similar dynamic here. Your Karns are going to be quite good again if you can protect them. And we'll see if Cody Hill can run through Amin like he did Franklin Folks last round.
Yeah, these aggressive decks like Hardened Scales and Hammer often utilize things like Urza Saga, Inkmoth Nexus to gain some traction in the attrition matchups against decks that have a lot of removal. But this Mono Black Coffers deck comes prepared with so many copies of Demolition Field and Field of Ruin and able to disrupt those lands and take away that extra, breath of wind that they might have at the end of the game.
Yeah, so it's actually going to be then on a body to try to time those lands, on a turn that is going to be awkward for Cody to activate a Demolition Field or Field of Ruin. So maybe we go for one early to try to activate it before we can get to the 3 mana, or we just play it on a turn where maybe Cody really wants to play a Shieldred or a copy of the One Ring or a Karn the Great Creator, and you say, you know what? If you do that, then I'll start getting value out of my Urza Saga and limit the value from your fields.
Alrighty, well, the players are seated in the feature match area. Let's head on down for round number 5. These players are undefeated. Amin Abadi is going to be playing Mono White Hammer versus Cody Hill on Mono Black Coffers.
And with only 65 players in this limited invitation-only field, a win here is going to lock up a spot in our top 8.
Alrighty, so players here are ready to go, and we're giving them the green light, and we're off to the races. Looks like Amin Abadi won the die roll. He's going to start off here. Land number 1 is Plains. Here's Ornithopter. Yo! Anurag, NZMTG, thank you so much for the huge raid. I saw so much from Eternal Weekend, and we're so happy for y'all. And thank you so much, Raiders, for coming on in.
Yeah, welcome, Raiders. Got here just in time. This is the business end of the Swiss rounds of our $20,000 Invitational. Winner here going to punch their ticket to the top 8. Though I got to say, I'm a little disappointed. Amin Abadi is not wearing a ridiculous cowboy hat.
I think you're thinking of Gabe Abadi. I thought Gabe Abadi was the ridiculous cowboy hat. Although he's in the other room too, and he's not wearing the ridiculous cowboy hat. So no matter what you say, you're right.
In that case, I'm disappointed in both of them. They're twins. I'm half disappointed in each of them. That's how
fair.
It works. They have to share my disappointment. I know this. I'm a twin as well. I get to say that.
Twinsies. All right, here's a Thoughtseize. It's going to take 4 Janu from Amin Abadi. It's leaving him with just lands and a Bonk and Hammer. Let's see if he's able to find one of those Sigarda's Aids or Pure Steel Paladins to get it online. But here's an Inkmoth attack. This is not the greatest turn number 3 in the whole world, but you got to do what you got to do.
I got to say, I've seen better.
Now, I am no stranger to Infect. When I was playing on the SCG Tour a bunch, I played Infect in Modern and Legacy quite a bit. And I have attacked with a bunch of Inkmoth Nexus before. We're going to go for Surge. This is going to protect our Inkmoth Nexus from the Field of Ruin, but it's also, more importantly, going to counter the ability. And the Demolition Field does not search for a land because of it. Surge of Salvation gives you and your permanents hexproof, and that effectively counters the targeted effect.
Yeah, if you were to give the land something like Indestructible, then the ability would still resolve, but Hexproof makes it...
Another Surge of Salvation, double Stone Rain, and maybe Amin Abadi is going to steal. Game number 1, Cody Hill already in range of Infect. How much Infect does he have? I'm so used to having an Infect counter. We don't need it too often. I think he's got 4 on him. I'm gonna need a dice or something. We need the spotter to check. Two more ink moths coming in. Another field. This one's gonna work.
Cody just keeps on playing into those searches too. Could have used that field on his own turn. Yeah, then Amin gets to have access to a little bit more mana, but how many times can you get blown out before you say, I'm not going to let that happen to me again?
All right, Mr. Director, do you mind gonna go ask them to make like a counter for the infect just so we can keep up with it? Because I think we're at 5, and it's gonna be pretty important here going along.
Well, less important now. There's 3 ink moths in the list for Amina Body, so if you can find the last one, maybe we can assemble an infect kill, but 4.
Okay, so poison count is 4, but unlikely to matter now that all of those ink moths are down. Here's a Shielder of the Apocalypse. Cody Hill hitting those land drops after getting multiple fields blown out by Surge of Salvation, but plays the Apocalypse now, and Amina Body with another weak draw, Pithing Needle.
Yeah. I think it's 2 hammers left in hand for Amin, so really just waiting on one of the ways to equip it. When he lost that Forge Anew, it kind of emptied his hand of the synergies needed to make the hammer deck work.
Okay, but if he finds the other Forge Anew, Sigarda's Aid, or Pure Steel Paladin, could threaten a kill with this Ornithopter if Cody Hill puts the guard down like he did last turn with Shieldred.
Yeah, it does have a Shieldred's Edict in hand, so you can hold that up because there's only the one creature for a body.
All right, we're going to play Esper Sentinel. This is going to punish Cody Hill for playing instant sorceries unless he pays extra mana, but we know he has plenty at his disposal here.
Yeah, Amin on a very similar list to what we saw from Travis Brown earlier, though one of the main changes, he has 2 copies of Esper Sentinel where Travis had 4, so trying his best to play around things like Orcish Bowmaster.
All right, here's March of Wretched Sorrow, and we're going to pay the 1, gaining some life. Do you pay the 1, Ross?
Definitely pay the 1. You got the mana. Cody just sinking the rest that he can into the X to maximize his life gain without giving up any card advantage.
Ross doesn't get it. He doesn't commander. He doesn't get paid the 1.
Oh, it's the Rhystic Study thing?
It is. If you're a Peace Only, it's the Rhystic Cave thing. All right, players just getting life totals right on the notepad. Shoulder going to gain some more life. Now we're going to attack for 4. Life totals here are frozen. Not sure exactly what's going on. I think our spotter was too busy with the infect token, and we just don't even need it anymore. Yeah. That's my fault. That's my bad.
I think Cody Hill is in pretty well control of this game. Though the Shieldred's Edict no longer particularly valuable. Interesting that Cody used the March 1st, because the Edict seems like the weakest one.
All right, We're going to burn a Cling to Dust here just to draw a card, more than likely. It's going to gain us some life off the Shieldred as well.
And we've got enough cards in graveyard to escape that this turn, draw another card. Yeah.
Oh, we're forcing the draw. Interesting.
This is the plan now?
So I think we're going back to the instep, so we're going to go kill your creature, untap, attack for 4, and then you take 2 from your stuff. Because this is, I believe this is a body's instep. All right, escape with Cling to Dust. We're going to draw another card and exile something. The Esper Sentinel does only trigger the 1 time, so we can't force another draw, but we will get one of our own and gain some more life.
Yeah, no decision now with Cling to Dust. Always just hit a non-creature, but since you gain 2 life anyway.
Right. All right, draws another card, gains some more life. Let's see if he wants to go for 2 removal spells here on the blockers.
Yeah, can just play the 2 Edicts and play around a Surge of Salvation that way. I do not think there's any flash kind of threat in the Hammer deck, so we'll just make a body lose some life and attack with the Shieldred.
Okay, GG. Cody Hill takes game number 1. Mono Black Coffers. Looked pretty great there, but I mean a body with an anemic draw, land heavy, naturally drew, Pithing Needle, couple hammers, got Thoughtseize. It looked rough.
He had the Forge Anew, really needed that one,
right.
And the Thoughtseize just kind of completely decimated the entire hand at that point. Couldn't find another replacement equip effect.
How different does that game look if Cody Hill just like doesn't have land 4 or 5? Like, let's say he goes try to blow up your land, it gets countered with Surge. Try to blow up your land again, it gets countered with Surge. Miss land drop, game over, man.
Yeah, but instead did have the lance.
Yeah,
So
drew nicely
maybe
out of
that
it.
played a part into his willingness to play into Search of Salvation.
Right. Good call. Good call. All right. As these players do reach for their sideboard to see if they can improve the matchup, I'm going to reach across the desk and ask Ross, hey, how would you sideboard in this matchup if you're Amina Body on Mono White Hammer to defeat Mono Black Coffers?
Well, Amin's sideboard has 4 Solitude, 4 Strict Proctor, 3 Drannith Magistrate, 3 Cursed Totem, and a second copy of Pithing Needle, since he has the one in the main as well. Um, Not a lot that I really like, since Strict Proctor only stops the Orcish Bowmaster ETB. There's nothing really with Magistrate. Maybe you want some Solitudes to answer these Shieldreds.
Okay.
Can also answer a Bowmaster if you need to do that. So that's the only thing I would consider, is getting some Solitudes in for additional removal.
All right, on the other side of things, we know Cody Hill is a Karn the Great creator deck, but does he have any tools in the sideboard you think might could come in and help against Mono White Hammer?
Yeah, last round against Franklin Folks on that Hardened Scales deck, the 3 copies of Leyline of the Void were quite helpful, but in this matchup, not really going to be effective. Can potentially stop a Forge Anew rebuying one of those Colossus Hammers, but that is not nearly good enough to take up slots in your deck. So really just going to look at the 12 singletons for Karn and see if you want to bring in any of them. Maybe the Chalice of the Void could be good.
Okay.
You could play it for 0 in the play and stop Ornithopters. Playing it for 1 is reasonable, but you do have a good number of 1-mana spells. Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, and Cling to Dust. Maybe you want the Engineered Explosives. Maybe you want the Walking Ballista. It'll depend. I kind of like the entire main deck. I could easily see this being a same 60 situation.
Well, both players are already presented and drawing opening hands, so I have to imagine that they both just kept their 60s intact. Didn't seem like either player really had much interest in bringing anything in from the side. Maybe Amina Body had a couple. He does play in sideboard pretty quickly. It looks like he is going to go ahead and take a mulligan to 6, and while he does that, we're going to take a moment and say thank you to our sponsors for this weekend's event. Ultimate Guard, thank you so much for sponsoring. They are the industry leader when it comes to TCG supplies, from the katana sleeves to the archive huge deck box that can hold your cubes and your commander decks. Make sure to ask your local game store for Ultimate Guard products today. A body with a quick mulligan to 5. So I'll take this time to say thank you to Moxfield. Moxfield.com is a great new deck building website you can use to archive and create new deck lists to share with your friends on social media. Check out Moxfield.com today. Thanks to Wings, etc. Grill and Pub for keeping us fed and happy on these long tournament weekends. We went there on Friday night. We're likely going to go back tonight. We thank you so much for being there and contributing to this weekend's festivities.
Contributing to ending our hunger.
Oh, yeah.
After long days in the commentary booth.
A body, keeping 5, puts 2 on bottom. We're on the way. Game number 2. Plains go. Swamp go. Turn number 2 for a body. Let's see if he has Stoneforge Mystic or something similar. I see Urza Saga. That's a good land here. You actually get to make a construct with it before it gets blown up by a demolition field.
That will be quite helpful to help grind through all the removal from Cody Hill's deck, but a slow start here for Amin once again. Just not a lot of action, and that's problematic. The Coffers deck is so powerful as that mana engine. Once that gets online and they start casting the One Ring and Karn and Shieldred, it is just tough to catch up, even for a deck as good as Mono White Hammer.
All right, well, a body here with that Saga can go activating. I'm pretty sure we're going to see him do just that, but he's figuring out what land to play. Here's Inkmoth Nexus. If we do get our Saga hit with the Field of Ruin, Inkmoth Nexus is a great land to have left over. We can maybe find a combo kill out of nowhere with Sigarda's Aid plus Hammer. We saw Travis
Brown?
I can't remember his last name for some reason. I don't know why. I love Travis. He's great.
Well,
anyway, we saw Travis Brown win like that earlier, and it was quite fun.
I can't blame you. It's hard to remember such an uncommon name like Brown.
Is that a joke?
Yes.
Maybe it's hard to remember because it's so common. Anyway, here's a Thoughtseize. Hand for a body. Looks like we have the Emiria, Forge Anew, Pithing Needle, and Ginger Brute. So drawing a couple more of the Saga tutor effects again. But Urza Saga does get activated, and here is a construct. We're going to draw a card here and put Chapter 2 into 3 on the stack and see if we want to make another token, and we do.
Yeah, Cody Hill once again taking the equip part of this engine away from a body with a Thoughtseize And those enchantments, are really difficult for the mono black deck to answer. Of course, no copies of Feed the Swarm and Cody Hill's 75, so taking them with discard is the best you can do. That
Very,
said, Amin has a much better draw at playing through that or playing without, equipping a Colossus Hammer because of this Urza Saga.
very nice sequencing from Cody Hill. He allows a body to make the 1/1, and then on his turn again, we go activate the Saga. In response, we use Orcish Bowmaster to blow up the 1/1 construct, taking away a lot of the bite from that powerful land.
Yeah, Amin really getting punished for not having any early plays. Just any sort of artifact, even something like a Springleaf Drum or an Ornithopter, would have insulated him from this Orcish Bowmaster. And instead, Cody Hill takes down a very high value target with that trigger in a construct token.
All right, so we're going to play Emiria, dealing ourselves 3 damage to play it untapped, it looks like, so we can play one of our artifacts. We're going to play a Ginger Brute. And no attacks.
As naturally drawn Ginger Brute and Pithing Needle has Amina Body, and neither are super effective in this matchup. The Needle can name either Karn or the One Ring, and I think we'll see it name the One Ring next turn.
Yeah, I had the option to play a Pithy Needle. Could have named Karn or One Ring instead of playing the Ginger Brute. Decided to get that 1/1 into play here instead, and got a little bit punished because now Cody Hill has it online and drew a card.
It's a tough spot because if you play Pithing Needle early, they might have the one you don't name. But if you play it too late, they get a card out of their Karn or the One Ring either way. So this is a bit safer. Getting one card out of the ring is fine. There's like another copy of the One Ring in hand, so you're effectively shutting down 2 cards with this Pithing Needle and just got that card advantage right back. And a second copy of Urza Saga for Amin is very helpful because I don't think I see any fields.
Mr. Director, do you mind checking? The Emiria entered untapped and did not deal 3 damage to Amin. And I believe that his life total on his pad also says 20, and I'm positive he played it untapped for the Ginger Brood.
Yeah, that was on his previous turn.
Yeah, and we haven't gained any life anyway.
Oh, Karn animating Pithing Needle, and now let's Fatal Push it. Excellent play from Cody Hill here. Gonna unlock his One Ring and start drawing some more cards.
Yeah, so very nice sequence from Cody Hill getting the Karn on the table and doing some dirty stuff with it. And now Pithy Needle gone and the One Ring back to being its powerful draw engine self. Can't keep a good ring down.
Yeah, so now we have 3 artifacts in play. We can make a 4th with the Urza Saga, make a 5th with Inkmoth Nexus, and that with the Shadow Spear we'll have a 6/6 plus the Inkmoth coming across. So if Cody Hill wants to save his Karn, he needs to double chump with both the Bowmaster and the Orc Army token.
Okay, looks like that's what we're going to do. And we're going to make a construct. So this is going to trample. Karn goes to 1 or 2?
Goes to 1.
Okay.
That's why a body makes the Karnstruct token first, so that Karn goes to 1 and Cody cannot -2 it on his next turn. But what Cody can do here, he has the Damnation. We can animate the Shadow Spear with Karn and Damnation all 4 non-land permanents. And then next turn we can go for the Shielder that he's drawn and has March up. Things still looking very good for Cody Hill here.
Yeah. So Hill here with a lot of options at his disposal. Also has that Cabal Coffers to generate a boatload of mana this turn and next. The March Damnation combo means that we're probably covered from a bunch of different angles, including that Inkmoth Nexus. We're going to start, though. We're going to add another Burden counter to the One Ring. We're going to draw 3. Finds Fatal Push. Finds Field of Ruin. We're in business now. We can go main phase Field of Ruin on your Urza Saga, and then we can use the mana to play Cabal Coffer's Damnation and still have Fatal Push mana up.
that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Bang. Cody sees it all. Cody on top of his game today and on top of Amin Body's Mono White Hammer deck. He is putting the screws to him. Let's see if he can close this one out. If he goes to 5-0, he'll be able to double draw into our top 8 more than likely.
A really impressive run from Cody Hill here. Defeated Garrison Fote in round 2. Defeated Franklin Folks we saw in round 4. Got Jacob Endicott, another player on the Apex series that's here a lot, in round 1. And has only lost 1 game so far. That one game 1 against Franklin on Scales, where he just died to Walking Ballista even after casting a Karn.
All right. Well, Cody does miss the Shadow Spear plus on the Karn trick, but still has Fatal Push for Inkmoth Nexus, so very unlikely he's going to die while his shields are down here.
Cody, I'm not mad, just disappointed.
Look, he saw everything else, okay?
Yeah, it also doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Shadow Spear is not winning Amina Body this game.
4 turns from now, when Shadow Spear is equipping to an 18/18 no trample or whatever, you're gonna eat your words, Ross.
Okay, well, Cody still has a full grip of 7 cards, including a Shieldred and an Urborg. So we can go Urborg next turn,
Yeah.
jump us up from 5 swamps to 7.
He also has not only Shoulder, but another copy of the One Ring in hand and the active Karn the Great Creator. So no matter what Cody Hill decides to do next turn, he's going to be able to protect himself from his own One Ring and is just going to have a boatload of mana to do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Can use the Inkmoth Nexus to try to contain this Karn. And Cody says, you know what? I'm not even going to Fatal Push it. I don't care.
That's fine. Doesn't use the Fatal Push at all. Maybe looking to draw something like Thoughtseize to see if there's a Surge of Salvation on the other side before going for it. Or maybe just wants to hold on to the Fatal Push for a while. Maybe something a little bit more high value.
None of it matters.
All right.
Cody's ahead.
Yep. 7 mana, down to 4, play Shieldred. We're going to draw 4 cards.
Gain 8 life.
Up to 20. The bird encounters with Shieldred are pretty lackluster. They don't really matter too much. The Shieldred itself acting a lot like Sauron in that can wield the One Ring with ease. And here you're seeing it do some serious work.
Yeah, I gotta say, this Coffers deck looking very impressive. Kind of surprising to me that Cody Hill is the only one of our players that opted to register it.
You know, I was making fun of Bomat too. I feel bad now. Here's the One Ring to reset. We're going to plus it into a creature, it looks like. Just to play defense.
Well, now that he's turned it, if he has turned it into a creature, it cannot tap to draw cards. That is still affected by Summoning Sickness.
Oh, no. Well, I didn't see him actually point at it, but he did
Yeah.
move it next to Shieldred, so we'll see if he draws a card or not.
Yeah, that very easily could have been a plus with no targets.
Okay, back to Mina Body's Way. Can he cobble something together? We know he has Nettle Cyst in hand that he found last turn.
Nettle Cyst is a card. Okay.
Here is Pure Steel Paladin.
Now we can Nettle Cyst to draw a card.
We have Hammer. How about that? Turns out the One Ring gives protection, though, so no lethal attacks coming in here. Cody Hill with a blanket of protection.
We also can't equip the hammer. Sorry.
Ooh.
There's a Karn in play.
Ouch.
So Amin will instead just continue poking away at that Karn to stop it from activating the -2 ability.
No. Okay, so it looks like the ring was animated, and Cody Hill did not activate it because it did have Summoning Sickness. So, man, he's just got it on lock, huh? Maybe he's just going to win the whole thing.
Maybe. His odds have gotten a lot better than they were a couple hours ago.
Yeah. All right, we have a Demolition Field that's going to go blowing up the Inkmoth Nexus. And now Cody Hill with a Gripful. We can play a couple of removal spells to clear out the blockers. That Karn the Great Creator is still locking down those equipment. If you're a Cody Hill fan, you got to be thinking that we are close to securing a top 8.
Yeah, I think we're about, let's say, 4 turns.
4? I guess he is at 21. I think a body is, I think if he just draws a brick next turn and both his creatures are dead, I think he'll concede. I think he's...
yeah, he's a tight concession kind of guy.
Yeah. Here's Fatal Push. We're going to float 7. Fatal Push. This is like playing against Monogreen Devotion, but they have a million removals. That's rough. And a March.
Kill that, gain a little more life. Still have a million mana floating, and there's got to be some use for it. Otherwise, we would have sank it into the March.
Or we're just shortcutting.
No, there's another Karn.
All right, so Karn's Great Creator number 2 comes down. We can go to the sideboard looking for an artifact.
We can find Walking Ballista and end this game even faster. We'll start by
plus
with no targets just to protect the Karn.
Been nice and tight. Amina Body draws. Let's see if he concedes or if he wants to keep fighting. He finds Stoneforge Mystic. We're going to go for a Nettle Cyst and maybe going to use Stoneforge Mystic to go get Cauldron Complete. Maybe that's something that can challenge the Shieldred in combat here.
Yeah, if Cody's out of removal, but there is a Shieldred's Edict in hand, so we can say non-token, make you sack the Stoneforge Mystic, and leave the Germ.
All right, and there is the Cauldron complete.
So I think the Edict will name token actually, since the Cyst is bigger. Oh, we have a March too. Okay. So now we can Edict away the Germ token.
Yeah, well, now we can plus on the Nettle Cyst, which will unattach it, kill the Germ, and then we can kill the Nettle Cyst with the Edict.
Yeah, I want a minus for the Ballista, though. I think that might just end this game. Because we're attacking for 4. We can get Amin to 9 with the trigger on his draw step.
All right, Sunken Citadel is the land. We're going to draw 2, gain 4 from Shieldred. Going to go up to 33. Not words you want to hear if you're in a Mina body stand.
Just a couple more lands for Cody Hill, Urborg, and Field of Ruin. So now we have 9 swamps because of Urborg. So the Coffers makes 9 with the 2 lands below it. Then we have 5 more. We can make 14 mana.
All right, going to the sideboard. What do we got?
So we could Shieldred's Edict and play a 6/6 Ballista here.
Do we have anything fun that we can, like, walk over Amina Body's grave with?
I don't know. You
Like,
could Cityscape Leveler, Sundering Titan,
Yeah.
Wormcoil Engine.
Cityscape Leveler! The Demoralizer coming down! Bang!
Just Stone Brain him for some reason.
Take all your hammers. All right. Give you a Power Stone token. There you go. Have fun. Here's an Orcish Bowmaster. Deal you 1. We're going to use our floating mana. Attack with Shoulder for 4. And deal you 4 more. Back Amina Body's way. There is no chance.
Yeah. I think this will be it.
Origin News the pickup. We have a hard cast. Actually, no, sir. Not a legal play. Power Stone tokens locked down by Karn. Doesn't matter. Has the edict, and we packed it anyway. GG. See you later.
Yeah.
All right. Game 2 and the match goes to Cody Hill and Mono Black Coffers, moving to 5-0 and very likely locking up a slot into the top 8 with just 2 rounds to go. We are barely over the cutoff for 7 rounds, and so a 5-0 record is excellent.